It's bloody cold today. Let's go, baby. Off to, where are we going? We're going to Clockface Country Park. Clockface Country Park, here we come. Get the heater on. Oh, I'm not the only one up. Somebody else is up. Thought it was just me. I make it 7:10. The clocks went back last night. Supposed to get an extra hour in bed. Just going through our lovely Rainhill village. It's all sleepy now. It would be booming last night. Lots of bars and places to eat now. But they're all in bed. Hopefully not too hungover. Wow. Well, it's sunny this morning. Very sunny. Just hope this rain keeps off. Oh, and if you watch my last video, you'll see that I've wiped the bird poo off the windscreen. Sorry about that. I'm wondering whether I should have brought my sunglasses. Oh dear. Wow, imagine how cool I would have looked on camera. Oh my God. Never mind. I'll have to try and look cool without them. Ooh, nearly went then. Come on, my turn, please. Thank you. Ooh. So this is one of those new roundabouts, which is not actually a roundabout. They're made so it's safer for pedestrians and cyclists. The motorists don't like it, but it is much safer when you're on your bike. It's just so much easier to navigate all the sets of traffic lights and the traffic coming from, I think it's 4 or 5 different directions. Okay, so this is Clockface Road, and this big building on the right used to be the Clock Hotel, the Clockface Hotel. And the country park we're going to, I think this is now like, Ash Meadow School, children with special needs, I think. The colliery, the Clockface Country Park is built on the old Clockface Colliery site, and Clockface Colliery got its name because of the Clockface pub and Clockface Road. That's why they decided to call it Clockface Colliery. Makes sense, I suppose. And it's just along here on Gorsey Lane. So all this wooded area off to the right now. This is the country park. There's actually a pathway through from here to, which will get you over towards the Dream. And hopefully, yeah, this is the entrance here now. Just be careful. Height restrictions, 6'1", Luckily I'm only 6 foot, so I managed to get under. Now I don't know why these cars are parking here, because the 2 car parks are off to the right here. I suppose they haven't got as far to walk, eh? Okay, so we're here, Clockface Country Park, and it's a little bit chilly, just to say the least. Anyway, Clockface Country Park, it's based on the old Cronton Colliery site, and Cronton Colliery was part of the Bold Hall estate. Bold Hall estate was started by, I think it was 3 or 4 entrepreneurs in the late 19th century. They managed to get 200 grand together, which in them days, imagine how much that'd be now. Yeah, they got this 200 grand together, and then they decided, they spent 100 grand on this area and decided to build a pit. Now, I don't know if you build a pit or do you dig a pit? Dig a pit. Yeah, you must dig it, mustn't you? Anyway, so, yeah, 1,500 acres the area was here, and I think this part cost them 100 grand. And they started digging the first shaft in 1896. Okay, so we'll get out, we'll have a walk round, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it. And I've just realised I made myself a lovely cup of tea this morning, put it on the side, got my cup all warmed up, ready, and I forgot it. So no cup of tea. I've got a flapjack, so I'm going to have to try and chew and swallow that without a cup of tea. Never mind. Let's head off, eh? Yeah. Not too bad once you get out. Suppose we'll warm up. Once we get going, we'll be okay. Okay, so from the car park, there's 1 or 2 ways you can go. Now, if I'm here on my bike, I normally go straight up here and then do a loop round. Or you can cut through here and you come to the lake. Really popular fishing lake here now. And yeah, it's quite, as I say, quite popular. And there's tons of fish in there. Roach, bream, perch. And I don't think I've ever been, and there hasn't been anybody here fishing. Again, you can go on off to the left there, or round to the right. I'm going to head round to the right and do a bit of a loop. This sun might catch you out now. So here's the lake off to our left. Now, when the pit was in use, this lake here was used for storing water, because that's one of the issues they had with this pit. When they first started digging it, 1896, it just kept getting flooded, and they were really struggling with it. Whew, I got a bit blinded then by the sun. Yeah, so like I was saying, this was used later on for storing the water, but when they first started digging it out in 1896, they got to 152 metres down, and then they had to give up because of the ingress of the water. By 1900, I think it was March 1900, they decided to call it a day and they gave up. They just couldn't get any further. It was just constantly flooding the shafts. And then anyway, in Wigan took it over, Wigan Coal and Iron Company. They took it over in, I think it was 1904, and then they revitalised the dig. They dug 3 shafts in total. Number 1 was used as a pumping pit, and they got over 700,000 gallons of water a day coming out of it. Imagine that. That was all through we're on red sandstone down below us here, red sandstone. And look at that lovely rainbow. Yeah. So there was a bit of a good news to all the water, because they started selling the water then to St Helens Council. Well, it was St Helens Corporation then. So they were selling them 500,000 gallons a day. And that was used for, well, the locality, people for drinking and washing and everything. I suppose then days you had to boil water if you were going to drink it. But what a lovely morning. I think we're going to get soaked like, but never mind. Let's move on, eh? Right, you can see over to Fiddler's Ferry power station over there. But this area now, just over here, you can see all the trees that have been planted. This is all forestry land now. It's going to be all part of Mersey Forest. Like I was just saying, the Wigan Iron and Coal Company took over the pit. They dug the 3 shafts and then they started to make it successful. So much so that in the 1960s, they were getting 160,000 tonnes of coal out a day. But then by 1965, the NCB decided it wasn't making enough money for them. And then in the March of 66, the pit was closed. And then all the miners who worked here, well, they were divided between Bold and Sutton Manor Colliery. Yeah, it's always sad, isn't it? Our pit industry. That's nice, isn't it? Who lives in a house like this? And they're going to be surrounded by all these trees. Bloody hell, nobody's going to be building houses there, are they? Well, I just stopped there. There was a chap coming up with the dog, so I stopped and started talking to him. His name was Keith. Bloody hell. He was a bit older than me, but it was surprising how many people we knew, you know, from the same era and that. Used to work in Boardman's in Prescott and okay, there's 3 ways we can go here. If we go left, that'll take you back round towards the lake. A couple of 100 yards round to the lake. That right there will take you down to a really muddy part of the, over a little wooden bridge, like a little wooden boardwalk. And we're going to go straight on to the left. Yeah, Keith I was just talking to, he said he comes up here every morning. You get lots of people here every morning, you know, with the dogs and that. And he said he came up this morning and he watched the sunrise over towards Widnes Way. Sunrise over the Mersey, eh? Yeah, if we look back over there, you can see over towards Frodsham, and then further in the distance, you can actually see the Welsh Mountains. Don't know why I said it like that. Apologies to all my Welsh friends. It was actually supposed to be Welsh. And here comes the rain. So off over to the right there. Griffin Wood a bit further over. There's actually another woods in between. Little memorial there. In memory of Elaine Simmons. It's nice having something like that, isn't it? Because Elaine Simmons passed away all those years ago, and people who don't even know her are still saying her name when they see it on there. Might get a bench. Sounds like a plan. Now again, when you're over here, you don't have to stick to these gravel tracks. There's lots of tracks through the woods and there, which the 2 dogs have found over there. Yeah, some of the dog walkers are walking through the woods. I tend to stick to the gravel tracks, especially when I'm on my bike. And it's nice, it's like slightly rolling, so it's not testing. Halfway through the woods there. Ooh, spooky. Not as many benches here to sit on. Not as many as like over by the Dream. But then again, it's not as big as that area, the old Sutton Manor site. Keeps trying to rain. Oh, what's that in there? Oh, squirrel. Thought it was going to be a fox or a deer. Apparently there is deer here. Roe deer. There's quite a few places in St Helens and Rainhill, Prescott area where there's roe deer. So it must be the leftovers from when it was all one giant forest, this area. I don't know if it was called the Mersey Forest then. Anyway, a couple of picnic tables there. You could be sitting there, having your butties. I could have sat there and had my cup of tea, couldn't I? If I'd have brought it. Never mind. Like I say, lots of windy paths you can follow. Buzzards over there. Be looking for the breakfast. I keep stopping and thinking, I'll put my waterproof on, because it looks like it's going to rain, and then we get a load of spots of rain for about 10 seconds, and then it bloody stops. So we'll chance it, we'll keep going. Oh, now it's here again. Back up the hill. Okay, so like I was saying earlier, Cronton Colliery, it was closed March 1966, and then it just became wasteland. And then St Helens Council took over it in 1990, and they developed 57 acres here, which is now Clockface Country Park, as an open space for local people, an open space and woodland. And they've planted literally thousands of trees, silver birch, wild cherry, ash, there's oak trees, there's everything in here. Yeah, so it's a really nice place. I was saying before about how lucky we are in St Helens area, because there's lots of parks and places like this where you can come for a walk, bring your dogs, bring your partner, bring the kids, come on your bike or walk, just get out in the open, fresh air, and just enjoy the scenery. And it's lovely. The only thing is, over to my left, all farmland, the other side of Gorsey Lane, apparently they're going to be building quite a few houses on there, so I don't think people are very happy about that. Anyway, we're reaching the top end now of, local people call it Clockface Country Park. Just down the bottom, just down here, takes you down to Maypole Wood. And then from there you can get over to Griffinwood. So let's have a look what this sign says, eh? See if it contradicts all what I've been telling you. Right, need to turn the camera around, don't I? Sorry. There we go. Look at that. I'll zoom in a bit, but you might want to pause to read all this. There's some of the old mining. Yes, I got all my details right. 57 acres. There's the buzzards. Yeah, so, I always wondered what they were called. Greater knapweed. They're nice, aren't they? You see something very similar in these fancy flower displays. Look at that. Places to leave your dog poo. Get your bags in there, don't hang them in the tree. Now, I don't know if I've made a boo-boo here. This takes you out onto the main road. But I think you can actually get into Maplewood just a little bit higher up. Anyway, we'll have a look, eh? Okay, so I've come out onto the Gorsey Lane and you can get back into Maplewood here. Little windy path. Yeah, so this is Maplewood. You can go left, take you round to Hall Lane, where old Hall is. And we do a right here. This will bring us round to Griffinwood, eventually. It's still raining. More dog walkers. Morning. Yeah, right. Don't know if you can hear that, but it's getting heavier now. So you can get back into Clock, back up there. That's a cracking little hill to come down on the bike. We're going to go this way. Now there was quite a few trees came down in the... It wasn't the last storm, Storm Amy, it was the one before that, I can't remember what that's called. And you see the wardens working up here quite a bit. Just wonder why they haven't moved, you know, like stuff like that, which is stopping people walking up the path. You can see people have started walking around through the woodland now. All these, I suppose, they leave all this for the local wildlife. Yeah, you look ahead, there's lots of trees come down. Bet this was great for playing down here when you were kids, eh? We had Big Wood and Duke's Clough. Don't think kids go playing in the woods now. Well, to tell you the truth, I don't think it's safe for them. Shame. Hiya mate, you okay? Right, I was just going to say then, you know, when I see anybody like on their own walking through the woods, I always think, ooh, it looks a bit strange, doesn't it? And then I realised I'm on my own. But I'm doing this for you, so that's okay, isn't it? And I'm not strange, honest. Hiya mate, you okay? Right, I was just going to say then, you know, when I see anybody like on their own walking through the woods, I always think, ooh, it looks a bit strange, doesn't it? And then I realised I'm on my own. But I'm doing this for you, so that's okay, isn't it? And I'm not strange, honest. What have we here? Oops. Ah, right. Okay, so this is where the old boardwalk was. You can see remnants of it there. Used to ride across this, round and up the hill there, and it was a real steep little hill that took you up here, back up to where I showed you before. That's all bloody gone now. Come on, St Helens Council, you need to get this back, get it fixed back up. So we'll have to turn around and go back the other way. Never mind. Right, you know, so you know I said I'm not strange. Well, I've just been stopped taking selfies, you know, for my thumbnail for this video. And they say that your thumbnail, it's really important to get likes and views on YouTube. So yeah, your picture always has to like grab someone's attention. So you see people take stupid like selfies like all this. And I've just been doing it back there, and I thought, I kept checking, make sure there's nobody behind me. I thought, yeah, this is where I get locked up. Never mind. Anyway, we're moving on and we're going this way now because the boardwalk's gone. We walk up here and we should come to the like memorial wood in a bit. Quiet, isn't it? It can be a bit eerie early on. Wonder what it's like late at night. Ooh, spooky, I should think. I love all these little windy paths. Choose which way you want to go. Go left. If you go left, that takes you back round to Clock Face, to Gorsey Lane. I'm going to go right here. This will take me round to Griffin Wood. Bit of blue sky there. Look at that. Gorgeous. What rain? What rain? Got up, had a shower, washed my hair, had a shave so I'd look all lovely on this video. Then it comes out and it gets bloody soaked. My head's all flat. Things I do for you, eh? I even had to put my hood up. I hate putting my hood up when I wash my hair. Just flattens it. I don't know. Anyway, there's a little car park here. Just before, and there's like a dog walking place in here. I think you have to pay and you can take your dog in there. Take your litter away. Yeah. Happy Hounds car park. So there's a few different trails you can take your dogs through. Cool, isn't it? Now this is Hull Lane. That takes you back up to Gorsey Lane. And then you can see the stone wall. You see all the pheasants in the field here. Oop, all running. Yeah, so this will take you down to the old hall. And the old hall is behind all that trees over there. Right, so that will be on the next video. We'll take you around Griffin Wood. Get Phil to come with me. Anyway, we're going to find our way back to Clock Face Country Park, back through Maple Wood. Okay, So remind me at the end of the video and I'll tell you how far the walk is. We're about 2.5 miles in now. So I suppose it would depend on how many of these tracks around the country park you went round, because they all scoot backwards and forwards, so you could add quite a bit onto it if you stay in there. Anyway, 2.5 miles in now. I reckon it could be around about 4 miles again, which is nice early morning walk. Back to the crossroads. So if you want to go right there, that'll take you up to Gorsey Lane. This way will take us back through the woods to Clock. Why would you dump your coffee cup there? Bloody squash it up and put it in your pocket. Take it home, you scruff. Photographer's dream, this light here now. Just a pity there's nothing really, no real pretty trees to catch the light. Right, what do you think? Do I attempt this climb or go to one about 100 yards further down, which is a bit easier? What do you think? Shall I go for it? Hey? Come on, what can happen? I know what can happen. I'll bloody fall all the way back down. Oh, there's a less steep one to the left. Let's take this one. Ooh. This is a bit more right. You can see lots of evidence of the red sandstone here. Oh my God. Oh, it's slippy. It's better. Am I breathing heavy? Well, if I am, because it's bloody steep and I'm an old man. Right, where's this going to bring us out? Oh, lovely. I used to think, to get my breath back, I used to think this was like the trig point here. I'm not sure if it is, because if you look to the left, it looks higher over there, but anyway, I made it. I need to lie down now. No, what I do need is a sit down and a cup of tea. Let's have a look. A topographic view. There we go. Wow, it's great what you can see here. Winter Hill, Billinge Beacon, The Dream, Dresbury Tower, and the ancient church of Winnick. So if you ever go there, have a look, see if you can find the pig. There's a pig carved, a sandstone church, and there's a pig carved into the wall. Took me ages. Dave Jones kept telling me about it, but he wouldn't point it out. And every time we rode past, I had to try and find it. I did eventually, but bloody hell. So there you can see where we are and where everything else is in relation to us. Let's move on. Back from the topographic view, back round to see if we can find one of the benches. There's the bloody rain again. Okay. Gonna head back round. Okay, I'm going to head back round towards the lake, see if I can find somewhere to sit, and I've got a little story to tell you, and it's not a happy one. Now I know all the pits had the catastrophes, lots of people killed. Let me just turn you around. You can just see the Dream there over the top of the tree line. Yeah. So one of the stories I'm going to tell you is about a young lad, well, 27-year-old George McIntosh, who worked at the colliery. And 15th of April 1906, his job, he was getting lowered down the shaft with 3 other guys. And the purpose of them being lowered down was to take a rope down, uncoil it, bring it back up, and that was to use to get the pipes down for pumping the water out. So the 4 of them gets in this tub. I don't know what a tub would look like, but it must have been a decent size to get 4 men in it. So anyway, 200 yards from the surface, they're being lowered down, and the rope comes loose. It gets tangled round George, round his head, his left arm, and anyway, it decapitates him, takes his head off and his left arm, and they fall to the bottom of the pit. And the other 3 guys are left in the tub with poor George's torso. So imagine what that must have been like. Anyway, there was an inquest, and during the inquest, it came to light that George must have been in charge going down. Anyway, this is what the other 3 guys said. George is in charge, and he decided to save time, they'd start loading the rope on the way down instead of doing it from when they got to the bottom. And as you know, it didn't work out. Poor George, 27 years old, used to live on Clockface Road. One of the other guys, Michael Mahon, he was seriously injured, but the other 2 guys were okay. So, not a happy story, I know. Anyway, on that sombre note, the sun's trying to get back out again. You can probably see the sun on the side of my face. There it is over there somewhere. It's just that it's behind a lot of cloud. Anyway, we're heading back towards the lake. Don't know if you call it a lake or a fishing pond. And it's teeming now. It's raining really heavy now. Yeah, like I said before, there's roach, perch and other types of fish. I'm not a fisherman. We did try it once, but got a bit boring, you know, just sat there. And when I worked for the Prudential years ago, one of my customers said to me, he goes fishing, like he used to go night fishing and everything. He said, you know why these fellas all go fishing, don't you? I said, no, why? He said, to get away from the bloody missus, get a bit of peace and quiet, have a few beers, have a gab with the lads. So, never having wanted to do that, I've just not done it. But I know lots of people do. Anyway, moving on. We're back at the lake. There's only ducks there today. Can't believe there's nobody fishing because there's normally always people on here fishing. Oh well. Right, it looks quite shallow here. Lots of fish. And Fiddler's Ferry over the back. It's only four towers left now. Used to be 8 towers. There's a pub locally called the 8 Towers. 4 towers got demolished, and there's 4 that's left. They're going in, I think it's early 2026. I think they're starting in December this year, starting dismantling everywhere. And then the towers are due to come down 26. So, anyway, car park's just over there now. And that would end the video. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. A little tour around Clockface Country Park, former site of Clockface Colliery. Clockface Colliery, I employed a lot of people around here, I would imagine. Yeah, so if you did like the video, could I just ask you to like, comment, share, and if you could subscribe. It costs you absolutely nothing to subscribe. You're not going to get like mithered over anything. It'll just help the channel, help to boost the channel a bit. Because I'm a new channel and I'm struggling for views and everything, so it really helped me out. And I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully the next one, I'll take you over to Griffin Wood and I'll see if Phil can come with me, eh? That's a nice walk over there. And you never know, we might end up with a pub stop. So, see you then. Ta-da.